Welcome to another exciting episode of Tech Innovation Show with me, your favorite host, Samson Jura. And today I am at Power Governors Limited to talk about governors that have power. Governors with power. You'll know what I'm talking about because this is something that is very new to the market to solve the 21st century problems that human beings are striving to phase out as we continue to advance as human beings. And with me is the chairman and founder of Power Governors, Reverend Crispus Kenene.
Thanks so much, Sam and Kutv, for giving us an opportunity to come and give you a journey of innovation. That started in 1985 when I left college, and I joined a company that was involved in selling the first solar panels into this country. I was one of the first salesmen of solar equipment in this country, and thereafter I also was one of the first salesmen of electric fencing equipment in this country, a time when there was a lot of human-wildlife conflicts that needed to be controlled, and a time when there were challenges of power, where the innovation of solar power came in handy, and I traveled through the whole country selling solar panels. I have done so much in that technology space, right. And I would like to acknowledge what God has done, because in addition to that, I've been a minister of the gospel, and I've been I have done so much. I've brought in a lot of innovation in every area of business.
Right.
I have dealt with bees, and I'm one of the initial creators of Kenya top bar beehives. I innovated some first incubators in this country for hatching, and a time came in 2003, immediately Kebake took over the government and appointed the late Michuki in the docket of the transport docket, and Michuki came in with his rules, commonly known as the Michuki rules, and he said that all vehicles, public vehicles, and basically public vehicles must be fitted with speed governors. It was a new concept in this country and allowed the region that nobody thought it would work. During the time of Moi, President Moi, there was a mention that they will introduce speed governors, but it never came to fruition.
Right.
But when Michuki came into to place, he introduced speed governors, and many people thought it's not going to be possible. What happened is, when the new speed governors were introduced, this country did not have a standard. And everybody went all over the country, all over the world, looking for speed governors. And these are speed governors that were developed or manufactured within the standards of those other countries. So we went to South Africa, we brought in some speed governors. Some went to Europe, specifically UK, brought in some speed governors. And basically those two countries are the only ones who are having speed governors. I went to South Africa, I brought this South African speed governor here, and we started installing them. And there was a great change in road fatalities, and there was a great change in order. The way people were being boxed into matatus was changed completely, and the government insisted that every passenger must have a seat belt, and that was enforced, and it had to be, and it was done. So I got into that space, and we started fitting speed governors. After a short while, Kenyans are in their innovation mind, innovated a gadget that is called tamper, speed governor tamper, tamper switch. And now, in order to avoid speed governors functioning effectively, they would put in a tamper switch, so that the speed governor will only operate well when there is likelihood of being caught by police. So you'd find along the highway to Murang'a, matatus are flashing each other, those which are coming this way, which are going towards Nyeri, saying there's a traffic check ahead. And when the drivers knew that it was happening, they would switch on the tamper switch and mobilizes again the speed governor. By the time it's passing the traffic, it's already speed governed. And so it beat up the purpose of speed governor. Every vehicle had a tamper switch. we were fitting speed governors, and everybody would tell you, I'll give you this business only if you also fit, put in a tamper switch.
Right.
We sat down as the industry. That included the Ministry of Transport, included CMTE. CMTE is the Central Mechanical and Transport Engineers.
Right.
We sat with KEBS, Kenya Bureau of Standards. We sat with the Motor Vehicle Inspectorate and companies that were in speed governance, and asked ourselves, what is it that can be done to go around this problem of tamper switching? And we had a committee, a working committee that was set aside to see the possibilities of avoiding tamper switching. And one of the areas that we came up with is that we established our own standard as a country. We said the reason why we cannot be able to solve these problems by using other people's speed governors is because they are governors that are a different standard. Right. The British standard, the governors are here. South African were using British standard, but somehow we never refer so much to those standards. We said, why can't we establish our own standard? And so the working committee came up with a working standard. It's called KS 2295.
Right.
That was the first standard that was established in this country to regulate the kind of speed governors that we want. And because we realized that Kenyans are very innovative, we said we need a speed governor that can record speeds, so that in case of an accident, you can be able to download the speed that the vehicle was traveling in before the accident.
Right.
And so the standard was launched in 2014. 2014 is when the standard was launched, and many people said, wow, this is not possible. This is how can you be able to ensure that there is some record that you can be able to download from a speed governor that's already had an accident? And they doubted, but personally, myself and another company called Dalcom, commonly known Omata, we believe that we can be able to do it. And we went ahead and we innovated the speed governor according to the standard 2295.
Right.
And during the time of Kamau, he was the CS then in the Ministry of Transport, that was launched. And we did a lot of business now with a speed governor that could record. And unfortunately, the standard, the way we manufactured these speed governors was hurried in such a way that we were not very keen on the quality, and a lot of them failed. And a very serious problem came out of that standard was when there was an impact on the vehicle, it also messed up the speed governor. And therefore, how would you download the speed from a messed up speed governor? Impossible. So it was not again a solution in case of an impact. Again, the same working committee sat down again and said, what we can do, because already we have a standard of our own, we are going to improve on this standard.
Right.
And ask ourselves, what can we do so that we not only get data from the speed governor itself, is it possible now to connect with the crowd so that we can be able to download the speed from the crowd? And then that one came with the improved version of KS 2295, and that produced the current speed governor that we have at the moment.
Right.
Well, when I look back, I see many people went to China because China adopted this problem very fast, and they were able to come up with very many companies that were manufacturing speed governor. And most of the Kenyans, including myself, I went to China. Right. And I sourced the first initial speed governors from China. And that is the first standard, which failed us greatly. In the new advanced version, I decided to look differently. I went to Europe. Right. Specifically, actually, I went to Lithuania. And I worked with a renowned company called Teonika, which is a word name. And I gave them the standard, and we worked together with them wherever they had an issue, because they also did not know much about speed governor, we were able to link up with them. I sent my staff to go and sit down with them so that they can develop something that will meet our requirement.
Right.
And finally, they came up with a speed governor that is the one which we are currently applying on our roads, and a governor that truly is serving Kenyans. This speed governor that we have currently is a very unique product. It is an unbelievably efficient product. It's not only controlling speeds, it's also controlling, it can do much more than controlling speed.
Right.
Because it's both a tracker and a speed governor, and has other functions. Like now, we are introducing fuel level sensing in our to our customers, which is still connected to the speed governor, that you can stop siphonage of fuel, diesel, from your truck, and you can know what is happening in your office.
Right.
And therefore, we have expanded our space. That this speed governor has enabled us to do much more than just managing speed. We are at the moment introducing other new products from the same gadget. We have a product called angle sensor. Angle sensor is a product again that will be connected with the speed governor, that will be detecting the operators of tippers down in the field from stealing, from misbehaving with their tippers by wajua ile wanaita squad. They have a job to do, and they want to do that job and to do extra job that the owner of the tipper will not know.
Authorized, yeah.
So whenever there's some work to be done and the tipper lifts up its what karai, the owner can tell that it has lifted the karai 10 times. So in the evening when the guy comes and say we did only 5 jobs, you would ask him, this is zingine ulipeleka wapi? So it's curbing mismanagement of the moving equipment by the operators.
Right.
And it's doing even much more. Our speed governor can manage drivers' behavior.
Right.
And this is a key problem. You can tell when the driver is braking. You can tell when the driver went to sleep. You can tell when the driver has woken up, and you can tell the general behavior of a driver. And that's a serious problem currently on our roads.
Right.
That's about Power Governance Limited. It is started initially as Power Alternatives, and then we changed the names to Power Governance Limited. Yes.
Wow, this is a very interesting conversation. I was even forgetting that I'm here to ask questions and keenly listening to the story you're giving. The tippers, growing up, we used to call them ngaura.
Ngaura, eh.
Hi, my name is Robert Njuguna. I am the CEO of Power Governors Limited. Power Governors is a company where we deal with motor vehicle accessories. Now, in our accessories, we deal with tracking devices. We deal with speed governors, which is our flagship product. We deal with car batteries, alarms, and fleet management. Now, in 2012, that's when we started, but in 2017, the government came up with a new standard for speed limiters, where they wanted to monitor the speed limiters and monitor the vehicles if they are actually installed, because we had so many unscrupulous people installing the speed governors and then removing them. So they wanted people to actually install motor vehicles to be installed with speed governors so that they can be able to monitor them. So that gave us an opportunity to actually introduce something we call tracking as a feature to the product. So it has the speed governor, which is already a standard that was given by the government, and then bring in the element of tracking the vehicle. And not only tracking the vehicle, we added another feature, which is monitoring fuel. Now, someone would ask, why would we go to that extent of adding something else? Well, if you have so many competitors, the one thing that you need is to stand out. So we decided, let's put in an element where we can be able to stand out and can be an addition to the type of clients, because speed governors are actually installed in commercial vehicles and PSV vehicles. So when we give a solution to our customers, we'll be giving them the speed limiter, the tracking they can be able to monitor, and also fuel management. And one more thing, they can also be able to manage their drivers because it gives you a report of the driver behavior. Now, that brings about the issue of patenting. And so far, we've already approached Kutv, and we're working with them to make sure that we patent whatever product we have, at the current product that we have right now, so that we don't have people coming in and giving substandard products. So we're working with our manufacturer and also with Kutv so that we can be able to patent whatever product we have currently. And one of the other things that you will notice about our product, we keep on updating the software. So it works just basically like your phone. They send you the updates. So once we get the update from the manufacturer, we're able to update all the speed governors that have already been installed, and we're able to send it a command because it uses a special SIM card called an IoT SIM card. We've achieved so many milestones as PGL. One of the things that we've achieved is actually being recognized as one of the best speed limiter companies in the country, not once or twice, but 3 times. We've also been inducted into under the 100 mid-sized companies in Kenya. We've been recognized. The first time we were, I think, number 78. Then we moved up about 20 places to 58. So that has been a great achievement for us. We want to enter into that bracket of top 100, the best companies after the mid-size. We want to move up higher. We started as a shop. In Mr. Kenene, I'm very sure Mr. Kenene has given you his story. We started as a shop, and from the shop we've grown, and now we have our roots in almost all the major towns, with having 8 branches that are fully functional, and we are providing employment also for people. We started with less than 10 people. Now we're talking about over 50 employees, and that has been growth for us, and we want to create more, and we are inviting more engineers into our company so that we can be able to develop more products that we can be able to sell into our market.
My name is Kennedy Onyoike. I'm an ICT officer, research and development here at Power Governors Limited. And what I'm going to demonstrate for you is one of the solutions that we offer at Power Governors Limited, which is the fuel monitoring system. To explain how we are able to accomplish that, we have a simulation setup here as it would work in the real scenario of your vehicle. So here, as you see, we have a tank. It is a model of what the kind of tank that you have in your vehicle. What you see here, this is the fuel level sensor. It is what is used to detect the level of fuel that is in your tank. Now, from that information that is obtained from the tank is normally transmitted to another unit, whereby it is able to be transmitted to the user, or rather the client, who is able to monitor directly the level of fuel that is in the vehicle. So how do we accomplish that? The data has been transmitted from the tank. It is conducted through this connection into this device. So we have 2 different kind of devices that we use here. We have this. This is the PGL speed governor that also doubles up as a device that can be used for fuel monitoring. So the data that it receives here, this device is an IoT device, meaning it is internet. It has the Internet of Things connection. So it transmits that data into a remote server. And now from that server, that data can be viewed by the client from their PC or from their Android phone. So as you can see, this device, this is a gadget that is used. It is normally installed in the dashboard of the vehicle, and it is used to transmit that information to the mobile phone or to the PC. The alternative is this other device here that we have. These are tracking device that we use to also accomplish the same task. The transmission of data that has come from the tank, it is transmitted to this device that is at the dashboard of the vehicle, then which is transmitted to a remote server. From there, I think I will walk you through the interface of how the client, or rather the user, is able to visualize and see what is happening in the tank of the vehicle. Upon the speed governor or the tracking device receiving data from the fuel sensor, the speed governor or the tracking device that we install transmits that data to a remote server. So what happens at the remote server is that this data is analyzed, processed, and is visualized for the client to be able to see. So there are two ways that our clients are able to access this information. One is using the web platform. Two is using an Android application that you can install on your phone. So here is what we are looking at right now is the web application. What you can see is an example, a test client with three units, 3 vehicles, or trucks installed with the fuel monitoring system. And just looking at them, it gives you a glimpse into what the kind of information you can get. So looking at this, you can see it has 321.0 liters. Then for you to be able to get more information, there is a very important feature that we call report generation. So the report generation is whereby you can be able to create and execute reports that will give you an overview of what has been happening for a specific duration of time. So if you look at these reports that we have here, it has these three subcategories here. So under the statistics, it gives you an overview of what has been happening. It tells you that the vehicle that has been consumed, the amount of fuel consumed is 95.68, the initial fuel level, the final fuel level, the last location that is known of the device, the total number of fillings, the total number of thefts, and the amount of fuel stolen in liters. This is very critical information. Now the other thing is the chart whereby you're able to get a graphical representation of what has been happening using a line graph. So if you look at these sudden drops in these line graph, they imply theft in fuel because the drop in fuel is so steep. And on the other hand, if you look at the increase, there's a sudden increase of the fuel amount, which implies a filling. There is also you can also generate a secluded or rather an isolated filling report. This will just give you the report on the fillings. Maybe you want to confirm the driver has told you he has filled the vehicle 8 times, and now coming here at the fuel filling report, you can see there are only 2 fillings. It gives you the initial amount, the amount that was filled, and the difference. The same thing for the fuel thefts. You can actually generate an exclusive report of the theft to be able to tell the location of the theft, the initial fuel, the amount stolen, and where exactly the fuel happened. So the fuel traffic here just tells you the flow of what has come in and come out of the tank. We have the trips. You can also analyze the fuel consumption in terms of the trips. This will give you a good estimation of the rate of consumption of fuel of your car. And then we have a summary. Now here the summary is whereby you can be able to have just a glimpse of the mileage, the fuel consumed by the sensor, the initial fuel, the final fuel, the total fillings, and the total number of thefts. Aside from that, we have a feature for notification. This is whereby you are able immediately these events occur, the events of filling and the events of theft. You are able to get a notification on the Android app. If you have installed the application on your phone, you can be able to get that notification instantly on your phone, and you can be able to intervene or carry out the necessary action.
As usual, I hope you've learned something new out of this episode. Remember to leave your comments and or suggestions on our social media handles, that is at Kutv Kenya, both on Facebook and on Twitter. And if you wish to be featured on Technovation Show, rather know someone who would wish to be featured on the show, you can reach us through Gmail, that is technovationshow2020@gmail.com. For this and previous episodes of Technovation Show, rush to our YouTube channel and find all the episodes right there. Until next time, keep learning something new each and every day. My good name is Samson Jura. Adios.